Good morning. I'm meteorologist Nicole Karkic. Weather alerts in place anywhere marked in cream. That includes places like Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, Quebec City. As the week goes on, in Ottawa to start off the morning. As the day goes on, though, we'll see the sunshine, so clear conditions by the afternoon. And then again, that heat on the rise really by Tuesday for Ontario. Our weather highlights, we've got clear conditions right now in southern Ontario, but as the day goes on, we'll see some showers and maybe some thunderstorms along the shores of Huron and Georgian Bay. Won't be too significant, but it will certainly be a risk into the evening hours. For Tuesday, we do have showers moving into the north end of the GTA through places like Orillia, Barrie, towards the Kawartha Lakes as well. A thunderstorm potential. Won't last long again. This will be short-lived, but what's more concerning is what's coming through on Wednesday. We have some heavier rain moving across southern Ontario with a risk of thunderstorms too. Tuesday, our temperatures here with our humidex values. This is hot and sticky. Toronto 31, feeling like 37 on Tuesday. Ottawa feeling like 34. So this is the start of the hot weather. It's expected to last in southern Ontario and Quebec until about Thursday, and the temperatures will drop down closer to seasonal for the weekend. Let's take a look at Wednesday here. Extremely warm. And when we have that heat and humidity and you get fronts moving through, that can spark off some thunderstorms. It looks like heavy rain through parts of cottage country on Wednesday for now with this system, but we'll take a closer look at that as the week goes on. Wednesday, another scorcher of the day. Ottawa feeling like 41, could be the hot spot in the country. That is definitely oppressive, so very muggy at night. Next level of camping. Coming up, we've got your local forecast, top 5 rainiest cities in Canada, and your regional update as well. Stay with us, but now your locals. Good morning. Happy Monday. I hope you had a great weekend. If you're stepping outside this morning in Toronto, it's 18 degrees. We've got some fog patches around Ottawa, some showers, including today. And right now, Calgary is sitting in the low teens. We've got special weather statements in place for Newfoundland, anywhere marked in cream. We're going to see heavier rain there. So that's why you're in a rainfall warning up to 50 millimeters on tap through the day today. Also a chance of some thunderstorms around Burgeo and the Burin Peninsula today. Those will start to ease and let up into the afternoon hours. But 15 to 25 millimeters heavier through central parts of the island. Now, where we haven't seen rain of late is parts of Ontario, especially earlier in the start of the summer. Kevin Yard tells us how that has affected farmers. And our forecast conditions as we go through the week, we've got high pressure in place down towards parts of the U.S. As far as our temperature story goes, we're in your local forecast right now. Stay tuned for our other top stories and force of nature. Thanks for joining us. I'm meteorologist Nicole Karkic.
And Chris Murphy, it is Monday, July the 11th already.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
Moving
wow.
Through. And today's headlines,
Yes.
State of emergency. We'll tell you where that was issued yesterday.
Flooding rains. Severe storm risk today. We'll outline where that will be, and extreme heat returning to the southern areas of Ontario. So
Up as we get that blazing sun coming out, and it will be blazing, especially as we head into midweek. Right now, pretty quiet on the radar for southern Ontario. This is starting to move into the northwest, though, and towards Thunder Bay as the day goes on. Risk of thunderstorms. Also a risk of thunderstorms on the east coast. For Burgeo towards the Burin Peninsula, you could see some thunderstorms this morning along with some rain, and then we're going to see that storm shift north towards places like Gander as the day goes on. Also some lightning strikes around Cape Breton today and some showers, heavy rain there, and heavy enough rain around Clarenville to Bonavista that we've got a rainfall warning in place up to 50 millimeters through tomorrow. And anything marked in cream, that's a special weather statement for heavy rain as well. So just because you're not in the rainfall warning doesn't mean you're not getting a lot of it. Future radar does show that we'll see some showers and possibly thunderstorms along the shores of Lake Huron and Georgian Bay later today. Mid-afternoon into the evening hours. Doesn't look like a big storm, but certainly something to take note of. Here's Chris with our top videos.
we had about 125 millimeters of rain, Nicole, 5 inches.
And also a storm risk marked in red there for parts of the prairies.
Fairly widespread, 40 to 50 millimeters, but locally 100 plus is not out of the question between today and by Wednesday morning. So that's a big deal. But tomorrow in southern Ontario and by Wednesday as far east as Quebec City.
Yeah, it could feel like the 40s in some cases, Tuesday through Wednesday, southern Ontario. What would it be, the extreme heat or the consistent rain?
Well, we're in a dry area, so rain would be really what's needed.
That's right. Well, coming up, we'll check out your local forecast, signs behind flooding as well. If you're traveling to St. John's, bring an umbrella and a few layers too. Daytime high of only 10 degrees. That's below the average of 20. We've got Toronto at 26 with variable clouds. Calgary just 17 for the Calgary Stampede today with some light showers and thunderstorms. Vancouver getting up to 19. Stateside, Los Angeles 28. Nashville 29 with some thunderstorms there. New York City 27 degrees. A mix of sun and cloud, but that does not include the humidex value. And Havana 33 degrees this afternoon. Nicole Karkic and Chris Murphy with you here. It's time now to show some great photos you sent to us here at the Weather Network from your weekend. Okay, Chris, and this first one goes to the West Coast, which is something we don't see every day on the West Coast.
No, we don't, specifically in the Okanagan Valley as well. So rather unusual. Eric Schneider grabbing that one indeed. So we did have some cold air loss, some instability, and yeah. I wouldn't say it's unheard of, but unusual.
Definitely. And we take you to Estevan next, where...
So from thunderstorms to Thunder Bay, Ontario, Ron sending in this beautiful photo here. And temperatures are going to be once again into the 20s in Thunder Bay. The risk of thunderstorms, though, loom. That's
right. We could see severe thunderstorms in Thunder Bay this afternoon, so take note of that. Also take note of this.
Wednesday comes, it should get all the way up towards Quebec City, so you too will start to feel the heat. So summer really returning once again, although in the Great Lakes, especially the lower Great Lakes, summer's been going on. We've seen this pattern before, and it's just keep on keeping on, really.
Yeah, and the thing is, we're tapping into that Gulf moisture. That's why we've got the humidity starting to rise across southern Ontario into Quebec. So we're talking temperatures feeling like the 40s in some cases. So overnight lows dipping down to just about 20 degrees. That's not very comfortable, very muggy at night. So a couple of things to take note of.
Staying hydrated and finding air conditioning, whether it's more susceptible to the heat. That would be the very young and the elderly.
And dangers of heat inside a vehicle.
Yeah,
so look at this. The car is 40 degrees, even though outside is still just 25. And then we get more solar loading as that time elapses. And after an hour, it's 48 inside that vehicle.
So really unbearable. It's very, very dangerous. So we know the story. Don't keep children. Don't keep pets in the car. And then we've got our hashtag Scenes of Summer. And we want to see your photos because we have this contest going on where you can win some prizes. You can go onto the website for all the information.
That's right. You've got to follow us on Instagram. And then your photo can be featured on our mobile app. And coming up, we've got your local forecast, Force of Nature, and your Long Ranger 2. Good morning. I'm meteorologist Nicole Karkic.
And I'm meteorologist Ross Giortana. In for Rachel Schutz in this morning. Hope you had a nice weekend. Hope you had a nice vacation, Nicole.
I did. It was really nice to not wake up at 2:30 in the morning, Ross.
Absolutely. I hear you there.
Okay.
What a light show. Dangerous looking storms nonetheless.
Yeah, we've got a bit of a light show too.
In some of those hardest hit areas, locally heavier amounts possible, Nicole. Heading into the southern Ontario, though, we do have a slight chance of seeing some showers. Certainly nothing substantial, but maybe as you get over towards, let's say, London, Kitchener, Waterloo, areas north and west of the GTA have that best chance of seeing just a spotty shower, but certainly nothing substantial.
Yeah, a little bit later in the day. I think the biggest thing we're talking about this morning is we've got some fog patches around places like Ottawa, Prescott, Brockville too. So hard to see this morning. And then rolling into Tuesday, Ross, we do have a chance of showers again through places like Cottage Country.
That's right, Nicole. Yeah, but these winds really start to crank up out of the south and west. So you know what that means with those winds coming out of the south. Warmth and humidity will be the story. And anytime you have that much humidity, maybe a few showers. So let's say Barrie up towards Cottage Country, as you were mentioning, a few rumbles of thunder, but once again, just a small chance of that for cities like Toronto to see a shower.
Wednesday looks a little bit more impressive in terms of the widespread showers, possible thunderstorms, and heavy rain with that orange moving through places like Orillia, Huntsville, and the Kawartha Lakes as the day goes on.
Yeah, we'll watch for that cold front moving in from the west, of course, and we'll be taking a look at that in more detail throughout the hour. Also, your Long Ranger starts right now.
Okay, let's talk about the big story a lot of people in Ontario and Quebec will be talking about.
Be working around the clock as we head towards midweek. I mean, humidex values, some cases approaching 40 degrees across southern Ontario, southern Quebec.
Yeah, a little bit more comfortable heading into the weekend. So same pattern as last week. Hotter during the week than as we head into Saturday and Sunday of 27 in Toronto.
Oh, what a beautiful weekend shaping up to be. I know you like the heat, Nicole, but that's perfect weather for me.
I do agree that's a little bit more comfortable than feeling like 40. All right, coming up, we'll take a look at your local forecast. We also have Around the World and today's poll question, too. Stay with us. Thanks for joining us. I'm Nicole Karkic.
And I'm Chris Murphy. It is Monday, July 11th. You're watching the Weather Network.
And top stories we're following on this Monday. We've got a state of emergency in Saskatchewan to talk about that was issued yesterday. Severe storm risk, Chris, and extreme heat returns.
It does. We're talking about the high humidities once again to southern Ontario and into southern Quebec. Not so much today, but really beginning tomorrow till at least Thursday.
No, that's right. And we take you right now outside of our Oakville studios, where it is a pretty start to the day, but it is going to get hot and even hotter as the week goes on. Right now, the radar pretty quiet in most of Ontario. We do have a little disturbance here that's going to move through the shores of Lake Huron and Georgian Bay as the day goes on. And then Thunder Bay, get ready for some thunderstorms today, and they could be severe with heavy downpours, large-size hail even. And as far as the East Coast goes, we are seeing some steady showers moving through Cape Breton. Generally, it looks like the lightning strikes are staying offshore, but they're moving towards places like the Burgeo, Burin and Burgeo as the day goes on, and then we'll see rain, heavy rain, move up towards places like Clarenville and Bonavista, where we do have a rainfall warning in place, up to 50 millimeters through the day today, and anywhere marked in cream is also seeing heavy rain just below that warning criteria. As we look at the future radar taking this disturbance and moving it towards Ontario, you can see the shores of Lake Huron and Georgian Bay mid-afternoon through the evening hours. Chance of thunderstorms and light rain. It isn't going to last forever. Certainly not a big storm that we're following for today. Chris?
And there is more rain in the forecast, although rainfall warnings have been issued, not for Estevan yet, but over towards, say, Saskatoon and Moose Jaw.
All right, so that leads us to our question of the day. The extreme heat, which we're seeing in cities like Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa too, or the consistent rain. Get on Twitter and let us know.
If only we could flip them around.
Yeah.
Bring the rain to the dry areas and the heat to the cool areas.
Thanks for joining us. I'm meteorologist Nicole Karkic. I hope you had a great and a good start to your morning. We're talking about this. We have special weather statements in place through parts of Ontario and Quebec with heat on the rise, but your bigger story is going to be this heat. So anywhere marked in cream, including Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, Quebec City too, this is a weather alert for heat that starts to really build in by tomorrow. So we're talking tapping into that Gulf moisture, humidity on the rise, feeling closer to the 40s in some cases. This lasts right through till Thursday. As far as rain goes, following a little weak disturbance here, and this will bring a chance of some light showers along the shores of Lake Huron and Georgian Bay into the late afternoon and evening time. Shouldn't last too long. It isn't going to be a big soaker, and we've got some calmer winds for today as well. For Tuesday, northern end of the Greater Toronto region, starting to see some showers for tomorrow evening. That spreads into places like Orillia, Barrie, Kawartha Lakes too. Again, not a lot of rain. It will happen and then move through. More so Wednesday, we're worried about some heavy rain. We'll talk about that in a moment, but 31 in Toronto on Tuesday. 34 is what it'll feel like in Ottawa tomorrow, and Kapuskasing even feeling like 39 there. And then we've got this on Wednesday. When we have a lot of heat and humidity, and then we get these fronts moving through, that could spark off some thunderstorms that bring quick, heavy downpours. And right now, the models are indicating that north of Barrie, that bullseye of red and orange will produce some heavy downpours for us. So that's Wednesday's story. Should have tried those over the weekend. I certainly have some bites on me after that weekend of mosquitoes. We've got a cool start for you in Atlantic Canada, especially in Newfoundland. Highs today in St. John's only getting up to about 10 degrees. It does warm up as the week goes on. Coming up, check out your local forecast and our other top stories too. Thanks for joining us. I'm meteorologist Nicole Karkic.
And I'm meteorologist Ross Giortana in for Rachel Schutzen this morning. Nicole, hope you had a nice vacation. Back to work.
Back, ready to go, and rested too. I'm well rested. I paid my sleep debt. Looking at our weather statements in place for today, Ross, we do have special weather statements across parts of Newfoundland. Yeah, you're going to want to be in the water, by the water, boating on the water, whatever you can do, because we've got Michelle Nelson joining us this morning in Southern Ontario. Michelle, what are you up to today? Okay, so the reason we're getting so hot, Ross, is we've got this high pressure in place. That's a clockwise rotation.
Across Southern Ontario, more so a Wednesday story could offer some widespread rainfalls and thunderstorms as well.
Yeah, it'll also offer relief by the end of the week in terms of your temperatures. So look at Friday in Toronto, 27. Rolling into the weekend, we've got clear conditions and temperatures that are much more comfortable, Ross. So you'll see details on that in your local forecast. We've got Force of Nature coming up and extreme heat as well. Thanks for joining us. I'm meteorologist Nicole Karkic.
And Chris Murphy, watching the Weather Network. We've got lots to talk about again today, including more severe weather likely, including a state of emergency in Estevan, Saskatchewan because of yesterday's flood.
Yeah, too much rain in a short period of time. Severe storm risk today, and our extreme heat really returns to parts of Ontario and Quebec.
Yes.
It is going to be a scorcher starting tomorrow. It's looking a little bit better than last week, of course, but we still have a little bit more moisture that we'd like to fall across Ontario and portions of Quebec. Right now, the radar is showing this little disturbance that's going to move in as the day goes on towards the shores of Lake Huron and Georgian Bay. Towards the east, we are seeing some lightning strikes generally offshore here, but heavy rain moving through Cape Breton Island and Newfoundland today. We also could see some thunderstorms around Burgeo and Burin today into the afternoon hours. And then by evening, Clarenville and Buena Vista, that rainfall warning is going to take effect, and you're going to see the steady rain showers into the evening hours. And our future radar shows this rain making its way through. And this is in Eastern time, by the way, so late afternoon, shores of Huron, around Goderich, for example, and Georgian Bay. Light showers, possibly some thunderstorms. It's not a big one, though. We have more rain coming into Wednesday. Chris?
And tomorrow.
Yeah, we've got warnings in place again. So up to 100 millimeters of rain in parts of southern Saskatchewan through to tomorrow, plus storms in southern Manitoba.
Showers in the forecast. So we've been missing the heat across the west. We've been missing the rain across the central areas where a heat alert is once again in effect, or at least a special weather statement to do with heat. Daytime highs above 30, nighttime lows above 20.
Yeah, it's going to be really muggy, sticky, hot. So our question today is, if you could choose only one thing to deal with this week, would it be the extreme heat or the consistent rain? Get on social media, Twitter, and let us know.
Yeah, pick your poison there. All right, so coming up, we've got your local forecast, then the science behind flooding, and then Nicole and I return with Share Your Weather.
Thanks for joining us on this Monday. I'm meteorologist Nicole Karkic.
And I'm meteorologist Ross Giartana, in for Rachel Schutzen on Toronto's morning show this morning. It's your Weather Wake Up, sponsored by McCafe, and we hope you had a nice weekend, Nicole.
Yeah, I had a great weekend. How about you?
Absolutely, yeah. It was a much-needed weekend, of course. I was here, but, you know, it was fun.
Okay, well, you held down the fort while a lot of other people are taking a break. And then central Newfoundland has a rainfall warning in place, but a lot of Newfoundland is going to be very soggy for today.
Yeah, very soggy starts the work rate. There is improving conditions, though, for you in Newfoundland. Finally, some warmer temperatures by the weekend. And we'll take it outside to Michelle Nelson this morning. Michelle, good morning to you.
Okay, so this week can be described as a scorcher, a steamer, muggy. Pick your word, Ross. It's going to be hot because we're getting those southwest winds.
All of the above, Nicole. I'm going with that. All the way from the Gulf of Mexico. So what does that translate to in terms of our temperatures? Well, we're talking widespread 30s here.
Yeah, and this is without the humidex values, Ross.
That's right. All I could think is, you know, St. John's, just hang in there, because certainly a cool, unsettled start to the work week. But some warmth is coming by the end of the week.
All right, coming up, we've got your local forecast and our poll question, too. Happy Monday. Nicole Karkic with you here, and Chris Murphy as well.
Indeed, we've got a lot to talk about. The severe weather type storms and rainfall warnings and wind are expanding across parts of the prairies, specifically Saskatchewan. We're a state of emergency in Estevan because of flooding rain.
Yeah, and we're getting more rain in Estevan today, potentially. Extreme heat returns as well to parts of Ontario and Quebec. It is going to be a scorcher in Toronto. So very muggy in the overnight, not the open your window and feel nice and fresh air coming in. It's going to be muggy until about Thursday, Friday. Now, the radar returns showing pretty quiet weather here across Ontario in the south, but northwestern Ontario starting to see some thunderstorms marching towards the northwest, and that will continue to head into places like Thunder Bay, where we could see a risk of severe thunderstorms today. This little disturbance will bring you some showers around Goderich, the shores of Lake Huron, Georgian Bay, into the afternoon, evening hours with just some light rain, maybe a quick downpour there for you. So that is going on there. Plus, we've got rainfall warnings in place here through parts of Saskatchewan and wind warnings as well. Saskatoon's included in that rainfall warning. The gusts will pick up today, too. So it is going to be another big storm. Chris, we've certainly been talking about this since last week, it seemed.
By a car.
Yeah, and that wasn't the only person doing that. We've seen times, so that's why a state of emergency was declared, and thunderstorms loom for today.
Absolutely. Could see potentially severe weather from southern Manitoba to northwestern Ontario, and again, the widespread rain in Saskatchewan. Still unsettled in Alberta.
Rain seems to be winning out, Chris.
Well, you need the rain in Ontario and parts of Quebec, and you need the heat in parts of the west, but it's been hard to get the old switcheroo to happen.
That's right. Coming up, your local forecast, and stay tuned for Force of Nature, too. Happy Monday. I'm meteorologist Nicole Karkic.
Chris Murphy with you. You're watching the Weather Network. So it's Monday, July the 11th, and we've got, well, a very familiar theme. Heat coming back to southern Ontario and parts of Quebec. More storms in the prairies and below seasonal across many parts of the East Coast.
Yeah, and a state of emergency issued yesterday in parts of Saskatchewan and Estevan in particular because of the flooding rains. We'll talk about that, but still a little bit brown. We want more rain to come, but the heat is going to be the big story for you in Ottawa this week. This afternoon, 27 degrees in Ottawa. You'll see clear skies, but it gets a lot more humid Tuesday and Wednesday. We've got rain falling through Atlantic Canada, rainfall warnings through parts of Cape Breton, central parts of Newfoundland, and across the island, we're seeing heavy rain in places like the Avalon, Burgeo, Burin Peninsula too, 20 to 60 millimeters on the high end, and that will be falling through the day today. In Ontario, this future radar shows us a little disturbance bringing some showers towards places like Goderich, the shores of Lake Huron later today, and Georgian Bay could see some spotty showers. This will be fairly light in nature. Bigger storms moving through northwestern Ontario today, as well as heavy rain starting to push through the Saskatchewan again for today. We even have rainfall warnings in place, including Saskatoon, 60 to 100 millimeters of rain potentially, and storms in southern Manitoba as well. Chris? More rain on the way today for Estevan, up to 40 millimeters. Potentially.
Yes.
And
90 kilometers per hour, so you're on the backside of this low pressure system. There's likely going to be some showers as well if you're heading down to the Calgary Stampede today. Risk of thunderstorms through the Rocky Mountains. And
meanwhile, our big story anywhere in cream, including Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, Quebec City.
Yeah.
The heat is on the rise.
Absolutely. It's coming back. So if you could choose only one thing to deal with this week, what would it be? Extreme heat or consistent rain? And so far, consistent rain is what more people really want to see.
All right, coming up, your local forecast and science behind flooding. Stay tuned.